They've actually done it. Enfield is actually the game for everyone. Now, I'm not kidding when I say that. By the time you're watching this, you've probably already seen the live stream that they had. The amazing theatrical level live stream. An hour and a half total. It was absolutely insane. There are a lot of good things and a lot of bad things in there. Now, I'm not here to talk about the semantics of what has had small changes, big changes, everything. I'm here to say one thing and one thing only. Enfield hates elitists. Genuinely. They actually kind of kicked out the gatekeeping. And I've never been happier. This game really is for everyone. So as you can see, so if you're on two eyes, you can probably see I have a lot of tabs open here. And it's just, they really did push in the fact. They really did have to get it through everyone's head. This game is for everyone as much as humanly possible. They even added new game modes, which I'll get into later. But the main thing I wanted to start off with is Arknights was never like this. Now, the game always wanted to be open to a lot of people, the base game, but being a tower defense waifu, you know, kind of game, it's hard to break into mainstream and have a lot of international fandom in that, right? It's big in the East, there's never been disputing that, but in the West, it definitely did fall off a little. But with the West, they always make absolutely insane little circles where if you try to jump in, you get cut off because you weren't here first, right? I played the first game, so I am entitled to the second being built for me and exclusively for me. This video you're seeing was made by me. It was somewhat received okay, but there was also there was a lot of people saying gatekeeping is a good thing, and it's always seen a thing. Like, you know, I see their point. Arknights' community is very chill in the moment in comparison to what we're saying. Look, I'm not here to say GACHA is perfect. It's not. It's probably the worst cesspool of games in general. But if you take yourself out of the fandoms, there is a lot of fun there. Especially with Enfield, that seems to be the case now more than ever, alright? I just showed you that one as an example that you see here, okay? There's more. The gameplay will gatekeep itself with the factory building, that aged like milk. Creators being called acronyms because they're scared to be mentioned. A bunch of insane stuff from the base Arknights community. Again, this is like the 5%. But they did bleed out into the early Arknights Endfield betas, and people really did try and say the game was over before it even began. We've come a long way since then, so from me to you, who have opened your mind and changed, firm handshakes. We're done good, alright? Now, when I say this game is for everyone, now that you have the context, at least from that side of things, with it being a small, reclused game that was nothing more than a tower defense that was really in-depth and a really fun tower defense at that, people felt privileged. With Enfield being open world, they still wanted to keep an RTS vibe to it. It really didn't plan out, and they went their separate way with the ideology of elemental reactions and going through that side of things. And the content and gameplay is way, way better, but that's where they didn't stop. They kept going, okay? So now that we have the basic things in the game that we know what the game plays like and we understand what they're going for, they add things and they just keep adding things. So you can play it if you've never played an action RPG. You can play it if you play Candy Crush. There is actually game modes in there for that, which I'll get into. It is a game for everyone. Mobile accessibility, console accessibility, PC accessibility, and they've been working on this thing for 3 to 5 years now. It's genuinely been pushed to be an everyone game, and that is a very, very good thing. So, like, for example, the first thing I wanted to mention.
To cater to this issue, we have the Game Tools feature. Open the in-game protosync to use it.
So as you can see, what this is, and I'll save the AI speech or whatever they chose with the English voiceover there. You can see the type of teams that we use for different game modes. Energy Alluvium, Unstable, RE Crisis. The main builds for characters in-game. This isn't something that's brand new, but it being day one is a very, very nice cherry on top. It's something that's in HSR. It took them like a year and a half to add it. And to my knowledge, it's not directly in WoW, although it could be incorrect. I haven't played the game in a minute. You can see the best type of teams, and look at the names of the team. Single target burst team. People can make team comps, label them to the type of playstyle that they do account for, and they get direct thumbs up, as you can see here. So you can see, oh, I want to build a burst team that is a boss killer team. Last right, Jai, Ardelia, Pelika, bang, sorted. Aviwena combustible team. So essentially electricity spam with elemental reaction to Wolfguard. This is probably the best way to do it. Some people like to find their own way through it, e.g. me. I like to toy and see if I can find some really unconventional playstyles and compositions, but people who just want to play because they like the story or they like the character designs or they like the world of Arknights, they don't have to worry anymore. There's no stress or friction and barrier to entry. It's gone. All right, and this is just one tiny thing. We can keep going, and I will keep going because I want to keep stressing this. This game is now for anyone that you want to play a game with who likes the medium but hates the trials and tribulations that come with it, either from A, the community, or B, the community. No, I'm kidding. Either the community or the type of playstyles that do constantly change. So if people are playing this and they're not a huge fan of it, they have different type of game modes in it now. So these are the 3 new game modes they've added. One of them was in beta test 2. I believe that was the one after this. But as you can see, we have Edge Space Salvage. We have Umbra Monument, which this game mode is a bit of a time trial, classic gacha endgame. It's not really the most fun. Not to say it's boring. It's not you get 3 stars on X amount of time clear, 2 stars on X amount of time clear, 3 stars. It's you clear the stage in X amount of time or you don't. It's a yes or a no. And I think that's way more intuitive versus just trying to time trial everything. But the thing I found interesting was they added a 3rd game mode after talking about this.
Time challenges to it. Complete the goals within the countdown to earn even more ore barrels. Meet the requirements to earn engraved medals, and then trim it.
Yeah, so look, I don't want to bore you guys with all this, but this is the next game mode.
Delver of the Cryptic.
Delver of the Cryptic.
Each spatial set has a number of protocol spaces. Complete them to get a one-time reward of ore barrels and progression materials. Meeting certain requirements also gets you an engraved medal.
So this is like the puzzle system in the game. So people who don't even want to play the game in its full capacity of being an ARPG, they can play it for the puzzles, they can play it for the exploration. And there are also weekly objectives that are tuned to refresh weekly and also are puzzle based. So in their direct words, you can play it in any capacity you want and you will always complete your weeklies, whether it's through direct combat, whether it's through time trials, whether it's through the platforming minigame things, which is also a game mode too, which I haven't even mentioned yet. And then as well, puzzles. They're trying to build it for absolutely everyone. And I couldn't be happier.
It doesn't matter if you want to explore and
as you can see,
fight a tough battle or solve medal. It doesn't matter if you want to explore and loot, fight a tough battle or solve puzzles. There's something for everyone.
Exactly.
All Endmans are welcome to take up these challenges.
And they are also, as I mentioned, I just want to reiterate, they refresh weekly. Your weeklies can be a mixture of all 3 or just absolutely W-keying one. They want everyone on this game, and they do. And anyone who thought that they had some sort of privilege because of prior experience in base Arknights or wanting it to be a true RTS that's hard to play and you have to really lock in, you're just a conceited idiot. There's no other way to really honestly say that. But Arknights themselves have shown that the avenue that people have painted this game as is clearly not what they want to go in. And the main people I'm making this video for, if you are wondering, are people who use Twitter. As a man who has recently left Twitter and felt enlightened, it is built to tilt you. It is built to rage bait you. And everyone who is in the gacha side of Twitter are either part of the problem or witnessing the problem in its full capacity. So don't believe everything you see on Twitter. That goes without saying, but people still do, so it's weird I have to even say that. Even TikTok to an extent, just leave it be. If people are trying to culture war Genshin Impact versus Wuthering Waves, they need to go outside. But Arknights was always painted as this game where if you don't have the prior knowledge of the 5 years of the base game, you don't deserve to play Endfield. Or you don't have the right to ask for changes for it to be more accessible globally in terms of a player base. And now you've just been proven dead wrong. And that, look, this is a lot. This may feel like a hit piece for elitists. It is. But they also went through things that, you know, for people who wanted this game to be obscenely grindy, or the main little complaints most people had, but some people wanted it to stay, they have done what they wanted. They have done what everyone wanted to see. Lower material difficulty, so it's easier to clear your dailies, get through them quicker. If you don't have time to play, you can just get in and out a lot faster. Early game progression is so much quicker. Or you can do it all in 3 days, and as good as bad, but it is optimized upgrade costs for get there, e.g. one of the biggest issues that people had. Endfield, where they crank difficulty back up a bit once people have their accounts settled in, once they have levels and everything along those lines, so the game doesn't get too obscenely easy. And speaking of the factory, as I was mentioning, they really do double down on the blueprint controversy, if you want to say that. It's not really controversy, but this is the in-place guaranteed system we do get now.
Expand them to a large industrial complex. Once it starts working, the AIC factory will endlessly produce gear, medication, and other materials to support exploration and combat.
I do want to say the whole idea of the factory is really cool. It is only 2 things you can get, but the versatility in making it how you want to make it and focus on the things you want to focus on, that's where most of the joy comes from if you are building it yourself. Most people are going to use blueprints, which is what this is about anyway.
We also know that some admins want quality of life features.
Look at these eyes of this blueprint. It is essentially a whole quarter of the factory that is built for refining, built for plant systems, built for the shredder units. It is 40% of all you need to know, and this is all just one button.
Progressing through the game unlocks the blueprint system. You can treat blueprints as verified AIC solutions.
Inside 3 blueprint clicks,
you can quickly build, copy,
this demo AIC
move, and delete
it's
entire
done.
production lines. This feature will let you place massive AIC factories in no time. You can use simulation tutorials to learn about the production logic, then deploy functional lines with a single button. Once you get the hang of it, you can save your own designs as blueprints for reuse and even share them with other admins.
See how fast it just scales up? Because they know, Enfield knows as much as we do, the Griffline devs, they know people are going to hate this side of things, and they don't want to take the my way or the highway type beat. So you can just borderline not do it by just putting down 3 AIC blueprints that are the size of like a third of the map each time, and you're done. And all your gear is going to be just as good as somebody min-max theirs, albeit they might get their stuff a day quicker than you. But they probably share their blueprint anyway because they want 1,000 thumbs up in Enfield because social status in the game, they might give you like a cool badge or something for your actual dorm room in the spaceship. So it's like a flex symbol if you have a lot of likes and stuff in this game too. So people who do the min-maxing will just give it to you anyway. All right, they really are doing this for everyone. And also just to mention like the amount of release stuff you get per level up now that they've also lowered how quick it is to level up your overall account ranking. You're going to get all of these pulls, which I think they mention is give or take 135. Let's see. I think it is something along 125. 135 pulls. Also, I forgot to even entirely mention, Adelia, this unit on the right here, is entirely free. Just for signing in, you get a 10 pull and you get Adelia. Which, by the way, Adelia is an insanely good healer. Obscenely so. And you just get her off rip as a 6-star, which is max rarity in this game for those who come from the 5-star games. They just keep outdoing themselves, really. And also, after all this was done, they did also release a DevCom, which, look, I think the Achilles heel of Arknights Endfield is its menus. I'll be the first one to say it. The menus are absolutely terrible. I don't know how people can navigate these consistently. They are god-awful. But it is one of the improvements they did kind of mention, especially with the artificing system. So for those who don't know, this is where the RNG kind of comes into the game. So, quick way to explain it, when you build gear in a game like Honkai or a game like Wuthering Waves, which is Echoes, it is your daily stamina use. In this game, that's not the case. You just get it done. Inside weapons, you have what's called an essence, which is like an artifact for your weapon or an echo for your weapon. You can get those through stamina, but then in turn, the stock build system, because there is an in-game stock market, which, by the way, if you just add every friend you have in the world, it is essentially infinite money glitch. The stock bonds are the system that is used to RNG your weapon up. So as you can see, it says agility plus 20 on plus 23. It's not RNG on what the stat is, it's a success stat. So if you fail, it breaks, you need to spend that currency again to try again. As you can see, these costs down here. And it's the higher it gets, the lower and lower the chances of it actually succeeding. So it is a direct return of stats, but it is RNG to whether or not it is a yes or no in succeeding to make it better, right? I hope that made sense for people who do play those other games. But they make the screen a lot more legible, you know what's kind of going on more. They bring back this social system with the clues, which in base Arknights, if you guys don't know, just add everyone you goddamn know. The more people you add, everyone in the suggested list, just do it, because as soon as you do that, you complete your list like 10 times quicker, and you could probably do it once per day to get the new currency, or a currently existing currency, the friend currency, on the store, which can sometimes even give you pullable currency. So you can trade friend currency from just logging in to currency that you get for pulling. A lot of currency being put in there, but that is the point. Yeah, like weekly routine has been added to the event setup by completing a variety of missions. That is so loud, I'm so sorry. Every week, you can get Orrible, which is pull currency, Arsenal tickets, which is the weapon banners, and progression materials, and the permanent puzzle gameplay Delver of the Cryptic. So, as I said, I've said it 5 times now, but legitimately, this game is for everyone. A game for everyone is a game for everyone. That is just how that be. Don't read into that too much, but it is really shaping up to be a game anyone could goddamn play, alright? Providing you like anime as an art style and a medium, this game is going to be for you to some extent, whether it's Candy Crush grinding, whether it's playing Factorio / Satisfactory, whether it's traditional gacha, mash left click brainlessly and pull for every 6-star with your wallet. It's all there for you to an extent. People are going to complain about the gacha. I'm not here to do that. That is a whole separate diatribe, and it's... Look, some people will say they have valid opinions. I think it's a fine gacha, but you're more than welcome to have your complaints. I will not say it's perfect. No gacha is perfect. If it was perfect, you'd never have to spend $1 for any character to get their max potential. Regardless of that fact, it's a whole other goddamn conversation. Also, quick flex, this game being 120 FPS, I have a 5070 Ti with DLSS, this game is going to look buttery smooth. Anyway, if you're watching this coming from any other game that isn't Arknights related, and you were concerned, because a lot of people do ask me in streams, which you can find on YouTube and Twitch in the description, people do ask me, is this game able to be played without playing base Arknights? The answer is a hard yes, a resounding yes. I would argue it's even built with that in mind. Anyone who tells you otherwise simply want to think that they're a Reddit mod and they push their glasses up and they think they are above everyone else because they played the first game 5 years ago. Yeah, so did I, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Enfield's different. In the same universe. Okay, cool. It's what are we talking about? This game is for you. This game is for your dad, if you even wanted it to be. If they want to be like showing you their new 6 stars, you know, there's probably a way they could enjoy this to some extent. Maybe I'm reaching. I think I'm reaching with that, but you get my point. Anyone you want to play this game, there is a selling point for it, and I'm not trying to shill Griffline. I just genuinely have played this game through 2 betas now and have been obsessed with it to the point I've gone back to base Arknights just to kind of get that Arknights feel. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, because I'm going to try and make a video every single day leading up to release, which is in, looking at my clock, 5 days. 5 days? Yeah, 5 days. Yeah, and I'll answer everything as best I can. So I'm going to try and make a video whenever I have a moment, because there is so much to talk about, especially with the fact they dropped a 90 minutes goddamn live stream. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Yeah, and I appreciate your time. Bye-bye now.